Power chords are one of the easiest shapes to pick up once you start playing guitar, but just because they're easy, it doesn't mean you should overlook the many ways they can be used. You might reach a point where you feel you've graduated past those rudimentary shapes, but there are still plenty of creative ways to use them, even if they're not the star of the show. One great use of power chords is as a thickener. Think of them as the musical equivalent of cornstarch or flour. Even if you don't think a high-gain pair of power chords would suit the song you're working on, you might be surprised by how much they can add just by tucking them in underneath the key elements that make up your track. As they're made up of only 2 notes, they can often sit quite comfortably beneath more complex chord structures, and be used more to shape the sound rather than strictly something for the listener to focus on. For instance, in this track, I ran into an issue during the double chorus where I needed something to help distinguish the second section of the chorus from the first. This is what I had originally. I wanted to keep the overall structure the same, but felt the chorus needed a heavier, denser sound once it reached the B section. This is where power chords can be the perfect ingredient. In terms of the guitar arrangement, all I added was a simple pair of inverted power chords. These play along with the clean tone guitars, which instead use more complex minor 7th shapes. Once everything is combined in the guitar arrangement, you end up with a much thicker sound, all thanks to some simple power chords tucked underneath. As demonstrated in the previous section, another great way to use these, or more specifically alter them, is by inverting the shape. Put simply, you're reordering the chord so a note other than the root sits in the bass. And the end result is the same chord harmonically, but with a very different texture. Shifting the note down gives you a really nice dense quality to the chord, making it perfect anytime you need to add a grungier sound to your track, as you heard in the last example. On the other hand, moving the root note higher than the 5th gives you a brighter, more open sound, which in some ways can feel less obvious than a regular power chord shape. One final way I love to use power chords outside of their normal role is simply as sustained parts. If you drone each chord across whatever else is happening in your progression, they can really help fill out the sound of your arrangement without stepping on anything more important in the mix. This works particularly well in sections where layers of acoustic guitars or bass drive the rhythm. To complement this, you can add simple sustained power chord layers on top, coating the arrangement in a dirtier tone. All you need to do is play the same progression as power chords, whether the underlying chords are more complex or you're doubling the power chords across multiple instruments, and let the high gain pair sustain while everything else maintains the rhythm underneath. Another great way to get more out of your chords is to break them into smaller shapes, like thirds and fifths, and spread them across different tracks instead of just the one. To see exactly how and why this is done, check out this video next.